Hi, welcome to live stream Yoga with Louise, tips and cues to keep you safe and strong on that. Today's practice is all about giving yourself permission to pause. As always, play where you're comfortable, modify when you need to, rest when you need to. You ready? Let's hit the mat. We're going to find a nice tall mountain stand at the top end of the mat, rooting through our feet as we bring our hands to prayer and look for length through the legs, the line of the spine, the crown. Take a big breath in and come into a standing back bend, folding or reaching for the sky. Then fold forward on an exhale, hands to floor or hands to legs. Soften the knees and step back into a 4-point kneeling frame, taking a long stretch through the neck and the spine. Take a long inhale in as you come into cow pose, thinking hollow back, chin and bum bones to sky. On a long lazy exhale, find your way into a cat stretch, hollowing out your belly and rounding out your back. Back to tabletop, stretch through the neck and the spine. Work a modified chaturanga by bending your elbows to come gently onto the belly. Peel up into a small cobra chest lift, or take an extended stretch through the arms. Engage your core and see if you can lift your knees off the floor, pressing into the tops of your feet and your palms. Find your way into a down dog and take it for a walk, bending one knee, extending the other, and starting to wake up the back chain of your legs. Then still your dog, stretch the legs, the line of the spine, and the arms. Step the right leg forward, stacking underneath your hip, replicate on the left, and ragdoll your way back up, hands to heart center. Big breath in. On an exhale, take a seat in chair pose, reaching your arms out in front and pressing your bum back towards the back end of your mat. Exhale to fold forward, looking for a deeper fold, this time hands to floor or hands to legs. Step your left leg back and find the high lunge. Hold steady or play with the seesaw front and back to look for more opening through the groin. Then still your high lunge and step back into a full plank. Engage your arms, engage your core. Then drop your hips with care through the plank line, coming into an up dog, strong arms, strong belly center. Pike your bum up to the sky as you find a down dog and hold your stretch. Soften the right knee and pick up the right leg behind you, coming into the three-legged dog. Do a swing through step into a warrior two, opening up the back foot to 90, windmilling your arms open, reaching for the wall behind you and the wall in front. Center your body weight. Then look for more opening through the groin as you pivot on the back foot to come into a modified high lunge, reaching your arms overhead and dropping down through the pelvis. Place your hands on the mat and find your way back into a plank line. Engage your core. Then drop through the plank line and come into an up dog. Hike your bum up to the sky and find a down dog stretch. Walk or hop up. Find your chair. Then stand up nice and tall, bringing your hands in front of your heart. Big breath in, so keep your hands in prayer and take a seat in chair. Stand up tall and extend the left leg up in front and begin to play dynamically between your seat in chair and your one-legged mountain, extending the left leg up in front. Give yourself maybe 5 rounds oscillating between the two frames. End in your one-legged mountain, Eka Pada Tadasana. And then step your left leg back, coming into a warrior one stance, angling in the back foot to 45, and extending your arms to sky, framing your ears. Stay here, or use this as an opportunity to find a warrior 3, transferring the weight from the back leg to the front leg. You can keep the arms extended out in front, or you can sweep them behind you, coming into a one-legged table, looking for balance, looking for control. Step back into triangle, think warrior 1, angling in the back foot, opening up your arms, palms in, and then dropping down in the lead arm and trying to find purchase on the inseam of your lead leg. Open up the arms into a beautiful T-frame and try to run a broomstick from the one palm to the other. Stay here in your open triangle or find your way into a half moon balance by softening the lead knee, placing your hand on the floor and bringing the back leg off the mat. Rotating gently towards the open side of your body so that it feels like you can stack the left hip on top of the right. Then big lunge step back into a warrior 2, centering your body weight and opening up the back foot to 90. T-frame your arms, palm down. Take a long inhale in as you lengthen through your arms and legs. Then on an exhale, drop your lead elbow to your lead thigh and bring the back arm nice and close to your ear, coming into a high side angle. Stretch through your left leg, the left side of the ribs, and the left arm. Back into your warrior 2. Look for strength, look for power. On an exhale, we're going to come back into that side angle, but this time we're going to try to drop to the outside of the lead leg, making our pelvis nice and heavy to the floor. Use your block if you need to, the fingertips don't reach the floor. Find your way into a rotated high lunge by pivoting onto the back foot, planting the left hand on the floor and rotating towards your lead leg, opening up the right arm, fingertips to sky. Ease your way into a plank line from here. Body line nice and parallel to the floor. Then see if you can come into a side plank, knife edging your feet and bringing the left arm to the sky. If your balance feels good, maybe look for an opportunity to find a tree line, bringing the left foot off the floor, bending at the knee and planting your foot firmly on the inseam of the right thigh. Think plank and then drop your bent left knee to the floor, either keeping your right leg extended toes to floor or floating the leg in a tabletop position. Work a modified chaturanga by bending your elbows and bringing your chin and your chest down slowly to the floor so that you're loading through the arms. Peel back up, anchor through your right toes, and bring the left knee off the floor so you're in a one-legged knee-up plank. Hold. Then think of sliding the left leg across the midline, knife edging the foot, and making your left hip heavy to the floor, coming into a fallen triangle. Find your way from here into a pigeon line, starting to drag the left knee across the midline, relaxing that limb to the floor, releasing the back knee, shin and foot. Then slide, walk, creep the back leg away and settle into your pigeon. Stay here or perhaps look for an opportunity to bind by softly looking over your left shoulder, looking for that back leg in your periphery. Maybe you can bend at the knee and bring the foot off the floor. Maybe you can reach back opposite hand to foot. We're coming into a dancer-like position, trying to kick the foot away from the body and take a little stretch into the hip flexor and quad on that back leg. Ease your way from here back into your knee-up plank. Bringing the left knee off the floor, strong through the arms. Back into a full plank. Keep your toes tucked under and release your knees to the floor. Press your bum back towards your heels. Bring your palms off the mat and press into the tip of each finger, thinking of looking off the front of your mat as you come into a hybrid puppy toe breaker stretch. Then gently ground through the palms as you relax the bridges of your feet, coming into a kneeling up dog without collapsing between the two shoulders. Then tuck your toes under and find your toe breaker puppy. Back to your kneeling up dog, releasing the bridges of your feet and pressing into them. Strong through the core, strong through the arms and shoulders. Find your way into your puppy toe breaker stretch. Back to your kneeling up dog. Then give yourself permission to take a pause here by sitting back bum to heel. You can sit on a block or a bolster if you need to, coming into a hero or a thunderbolt seat and relaxing your hands, palms up. Find a comfortable neutral seat and focus on your breath, maybe closing your eyes and taking your focus inward. Take a long inhale in for 4, tapping your thumb to your index, middle, ring, and pinky. Then long exhale as you stretch through the palm and each finger. Rinse and repeat. Inhaling for 4 as you tap thumb to fingers. And then long exhale as you stretch through the palm of your hand. Make the inhale soft and almost inaudible, and then maybe use a soft HA vocalization on the exhale. Return your breathing to normal and slowly flutter open your eyes. Find your way on your current seat into a down dog stretch. Think 4-point kneeling, but pike your bum up to the sky. Stretch arms, stretch legs, stretch spine. Maybe find your way onto the tips of your fingers and start to walk your feet forward towards the top end of your mat. Ending the forward fold, keeping your hands on the floor if you can. Maybe you can even invert the hands and begin to walk them past your feet, looking for a stretch into the carpal tunnel area, looking for a deeper fold, more work along the spine and the back chain of your legs. Then softening your knees to peel up slowly like a rag doll, making sure that you're bringing your head up last as you restack and realign, finding your way back into mountain, hands to heart center. Big breath in as you take a standing back bend, bumping your hips forward over your knees and throwing the arms gently overhead. Exhale to fold forward, hands to floor or hands to legs. Step back into a 4-point kneeling frame, taking a long stretch through the neck and the spine and pulling your belly button gently into center. On a big inhale, find your way into cow, Vittanasana, thinking hollow back, taking chin and bum bones to sky. Exhale to round out in cat, Marjariasana. Look for the back of your ribs. Find your way back into the neutral tabletop stretch through the neck and the spine. Bend your elbows slowly, hug them in towards your ribs, and find your way down onto the belly, working a modified chaturanga. Begin to morph into a small cobra chest lift. Play small, or look for more extension through the arms. See if you can morph your cobra into an up dog by bringing your knees off the floor and actively pressing into the tops of your toes and the bridges of your feet. Strong arms, strong core. Morph into a down dog and take it for a gentle walk. Bending one knee, extending the other leg, and trying to anchor through the whole foot of your extended leg. Anchor both feet and hold the down dog stretch. Take a step up on the left, trying to stack underneath your hip. Replicate on the right. Lead up ragdoll style to find your mountain, hands to heart center. Big breath in. On an exhale, find a seat in chair pose. Then fold it forward, hands to floor or hands to legs. Take a big lunge, step back on the right. Hold your lunge steady or seesaw. Maybe bring the pressure off the wrist a little bit by using high spider fingertips when you get an opportunity. Ease your way into a strong plank. Then drop your hips with care through the plank line and find a strong up dog frame. Don't collapse between the two shoulders. Pike your bum up, find a down dog, hold it. Soften the left knee and kick up into a three-legged dog on the left. Do a swing through lunge into a warrior two, opening up the back foot to 90 and windmilling the arms open. Reach long through the arms, strong through the legs. Then begin to pivot on the back foot, coming into a high lunge and framing your ears on either side, looking for a nice drop down through the groin area. Plank it out when you're ready. Start to drop your hips with control through the plank line. Find your up dog, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Then back to down dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Stretch arms, stretch legs, stretch spine. Find your way back into chair pose, either stepping the legs up one at a time or taking a little hop. Hands to heart center as you stand up nice and tall in mountain. Now I'll begin to play dynamically, keeping your hands in prayer for your next seat. And then standing up nice and tall to extend the left leg out in front. Right leg out in front. My bad. We're working the second side. And give yourself maybe 5 successive rounds, just playing with your seat, Utkatasana, and your one-legged mountain, Ekapada Tadasana. We're going to end in a one-legged mountain. And then we're going to use that one-legged mountain to find our way into a warrior one step. Stepping back the right leg, angling in the foot to 45. Wiggle walking the legs away from one another as we settle into framing our ears and reaching for the sky. Virabhadrasana 1, warrior 1. Stay here or find your way into a warrior 3 balance, starting to transfer the weight from the back leg to the front, and you can use a stutter on that back foot if you need it. Take a big warrior 1-like step back, then straighten up both legs, preparing for triangle. Open up the arms, palms facing into center, and then start to drop down, finding purchase on the inseam of the lead leg, maybe working with resistance, pressing with the back of your hands and resisting, trying to run a long graceful line from the one palm to the other. Uttita Trikonasana, open triangle. Stay here or find your way into half moon by softening the lead knee, placing your hand on the floor, starting to transfer the weight from the back leg to the front, bringing the back leg off the floor and looking for a slight rotation towards the open side of your body, trying to stack the right hip on top of the left. Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. Big lunge step back into a warrior 2. Palms down, arms long and reaching. On an exhale, drop your lead elbow to your lead thigh and bring the back arm as close to your ear as you can, maybe looking for drop down through the pelvis as you find a high side angle. Back to your warrior 2, looking for strength and control on your mat. We're going to find our way back into that side angle, but this time we're looking for a lower drop and we're trying to drop the lead arm to the outside of the lead leg. Opening up beautifully through the groin. Then begin to pivot on your back foot, anchor the right arm and hand to the floor and rotate towards your lead leg, finding a rotated high lunge. Step back into a strong plank line from here. Strong through the arms, strong through the shoulders, strong through the core. We're going to side plank it on the left, knife edging your feet, and maybe opening up right arm to sky, or maybe looking for an opportunity to set up a tree line with the right leg. We're coming into a knee up plank from here. So begin to find your way back into your plank, dropping the right knee to the floor. Release the shin and foot. You can keep your left toes on the mat or float the leg off. Modified chaturanga, you're going to bend through the elbows as slowly as you can, hugging them in towards your ribs and trying to hover your chin and your chest just off the floor. Then think one-legged plank, bringing your right knee, shin and foot off the mat and holding your plank steady, keeping that space between the two shoulder blades nice and open. Then start to extend the right leg across the midline, knife edge the foot, and make your right hip nice and heavy to the floor. Think about how you can use this current frame to bleed your way into a pigeon line. Start to drag your right knee across the midline, setting up the angle on the lead leg that works for you. Relax the back knee, shin and foot. Start to wiggle, walk that back foot away, coming high onto the fingertips to release the pressure on your wrist. Staying here in your high pigeon seat, or maybe looking for an opportunity to bind opposite hand to leg. So peek over the right shoulder, look for that foot in your periphery. Maybe bend the knee, bring the foot off the floor and reach back opposite hand to foot. Kick the foot into your hand. Look for your quad, look for your hip flexor on the left leg. Lead your way from here back to your knee up plank. Bringing the right knee, shin and foot off the mat as you hold your plank line steady. Toe breaker puppy comes next. Extend both legs back into a plank. Relax your knees to the floor. Keep the toes tucked under. Sit back, bum to heel. Bringing the palms and the wrists off the mat. Pressing into all 10 fingers and looking off the front of your mat. So we're not thinking forward to floor. We're looking off that mat front. Then release the palms to the mat as you come into a kneeling up dog, pressing into the bridges of your feet, strong through the core, don't collapse between the two shoulders. We're going to do that at least twice more. Finding our toe breaker puppy. And our strong kneeling up dog. Find your toe breaker puppy. Then back to your kneeling up dog. Then give yourself permission to pause by sitting back, bum to feet, coming into hero or thunderbolt. Relax your hands, palms up. Close your eyes, take your focus in. Long inhale for 4 as you tap your thumb to each finger. And then long exhale as you stretch through the palms and each fingertip. Begin to find your breath rhythm. Maybe using a soft HA vocalization on the exhale. Keep a comfortable neutral spine, but keep your trunk nice and tall. Return your breath to normal after your last HA vocalization. And just inhale and exhale gently through the nose, maybe flutter opening your eyes. We're coming into a narrow extended child pose from here, trying to keep the legs in a more or less parallel line as you walk your palms to the mat and then walk them out. Take a nice long stretch here. You're trying to relax the lower belly to the top of your thighs and then release your forehead to the floor. Pressing into your palms, stretching through the line in the arms, making your bum bones as heavy to your heels as you can manage, and looking for that compression, that detoxifying compression into the lower belly. Then keep your arms long, but relax your elbows, release your wrists, bring the fingers off the mat, and then drag them softly on the mat and start to play with the temple to temple rock through the forehead. Come to stillness on your third eye, that little pressure point between the two eyebrows. Then begin to creep the arms into extension again, looking off the front of the mat, sliding your arms forward, coming into puppy, keeping your feet on the mat or bringing your feet off the floor as you think of tapping your chest to the floor and looking off the front of your mat. Onto the belly for a wide sphinx, pressing off your forearms, growing the line of your spine. Then think of leading your way into locust line by starting to connect more of your rib cage to the mat, sweeping the arms behind you and bringing both legs off the mat. Look for a soft bow frame or drop your whole frame closer to the mat if the back is telling you to take it easy. Maybe coming into a full bow, reaching for each foot and thinking of kicking your feet away from your bottom. Ease your way from here onto the right side of your body. You can look for an almost soft banana-like frame through the body, curving slightly through the belly center, and then take a long stretch through your left toes and the left arm. Trying to stretch and reach. Roll onto the back, taking a moment to recenter yourself on the mat. Keep the weight of your shoulders, the back of your ribs, and your sacrum pressing equally into the mat. And start to hug the right knee in towards your chest. Keep the weight of your back pressing equally into the mat. And find your way into an A-line stretch. You could be holding onto the back of your thigh, you could be holding onto your calf, or you could be connecting to your right foot or big toe, free hands, or using a strap or a belt. We're going to hold for roughly 30 seconds, looking to iron out those tight kinks on the back chain of the right leg. Try to keep both shoulders nice and heavy, and maybe T-frame your support on. Inhale and exhale gently through your nose. Keep your support leg bent. Then begin to translate your A-line stretch into a B-line stretch by dropping your right leg away from the midline, looking away from your falling line, or your falling leg rather, and try to keep yourself anchored on the left shoulder, on the left bum, on the left foot. Hold the stretch once you've found it. Find your way back to your A-line stretch and then start to translate it into a figure four, bending the right knee and placing the side of the right foot on the left thigh. Use your right palm to press the right inseam of your leg away. Try to keep the weight of your back pressing into the mat with equal force. Relax both arms T-frame to the mat. Keep your figure four frame through the legs, but start to drop your whole frame to the left. Try to drop the outside of the left knee and maybe the whole sole of the right foot to the floor, looking away from your falling legs. You could maybe take your left hand, reach for your shin or your ankle and hold on to it to work a little bit more deeper into the supine twist. Breathe. Then think about how you're going to find your way from here onto the left side of your body for a side stretch. Start to unravel your legs and think of finding that soft, almost banana-like frame on the mat, and then taking a long stretch to the right leg and the right arm. Find your way onto the back, bending your knees, rounding your feet. Take a moment and then start to hug the left knee in towards your chest. Close your eyes, find the press of your back and keep it equal. Start to extend your left leg to the sky reaching maybe for that foot, settling into an A-line stretch and holding for roughly 30 seconds. Breathe. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose and trying to relax into the stretch, not tensing, looking for release. Then when you're ready, find your way into a beeline stretch by dropping the left leg away from the midline, looking away from your falling leg, and trying to keep yourself anchored on the right side of your body. Hold the stretch, breathe once you've found it. Start to bring your leg back towards the A-line, and then start to morph into a figure 4 by bending your knee and relaxing your left foot to the top of your right thigh. Use your left palm to press the inseam of the left leg away and just hold that little figure 4 stretch, trying to keep the weight of your back pressing equally into the mat. Relax both arms to the mat, think soft T-like frame. Keep the figure 4, but start to drop the whole frame to the right. Maybe you're reaching for that left shin or ankle as you drop into the supine twist. Breathe. Find your way onto the back, bringing both knees up into a narrow tabletop line and using them as one unit to trace a few lazy circles in one direction, looking for a little massaging release into your lower back. And then a few lazy circles in the opposite direction. Then decide on a pose to end off today's practice. You could be coming into a modified pigeon-toed bridge-like setup with your knees knock-kneed in and your feet wide. Maybe splaying your arms up Shavasana style. You could be coming into a supine butterfly, soles of the feet together, knees wide, arms softly splayed out. Or maybe full Shavasana with the legs extended and in a turn-out position. Pick the pose that speaks to you and settle in. Maybe coming into a few gentle rounds of a soft Sitkari breath modification, taking the tip of your tongue, connecting it to the palate of your mouth, keeping the space between the upper and lower row of teeth open and your mouth soft. You're going to take a soft inhale in, making a gentle hissing-like sound. And close your mouth and exhale through the nose. Rinse and repeat for a few gentle rounds. Keep that Siddhkari breath pattern going and focus on melting your whole body each time you find yourself exhaling. Dissolving yourself into the mat. Make this your last active Siddhkari breath cycle, and then start to return your inhales and exhales to normal, trying to keep them exclusively through the nose so that you're activating into your parasympathetic nervous system. Then in no rush, and keeping your eyes closed and your focus inward facing, bend your knees, ground your feet when you're ready, and roll over into a fetal position, preferably rolling onto your right shoulder with your left elbow, with your left shoulder looking to the sky. Find a little fetal tuck that works for you. Pause for a moment, and then into a seat of your choice to end off today's practice. Whichever seat speaks to you, it could be a cross-legged seat, it could be more of a thunderbolt-like position. Settle in, close your eyes, take your focus inward. Listen to the truth of the next few words and internalize them. Give yourself permission to pause. Take a mindful moment to be still. Close your eyes. Breathe deeply. Hear the sounds surrounding you. Smell the scents around you. Feel the earth beneath you. Bring your right palm to your heart. Overlay your left hand on top of your right and connect to that gentle bump, bump, bump of your heart. Reverberating through both hands, let's end off today's practice on the words Om Shanti. Thank you so much for coming out to play with me today. Till next time, keep it light.